Okay, hip hop's 50th anniversary. And when you talk about hip hop, you got to include the DMV. If you're including the DMV, you have to include this man. It's the legendary DJ Kool. How you doing, sir?
Sir, I'm blessed. What's happening?
Hey, man, I'm just enjoying it day by day. Man, we've talked to so many legends, and it's only right that we get this legend on here. First and foremost, I'm sure you all know his catalog. We're gonna run through some of the joints. I think the first one was 88. Music ain't loud enough.
86.
80. That was 86?
86.
Wow. Okay. You know what? It had to be because I remember you performing it at Ebony Island, and I wasn't old enough to get into the other clubs.
Wow.
Okay. What the hell you come in here for? Reggae dance. I can make you dance. 20-minute workout. I got that feeling. Of course, Let Me Clear My Throat. And you had a bunch of joints after Let Me Clear My Throat.
Oh yeah. Well, we had I did the remix of It Takes Two, me and Fat Man Scoop.
Yep.
Thanks to the NFL, they used that for their 100-year anniversary Super Bowl commercial, which was deemed the biggest commercial in NFL history or some crazy mess like that.
Okay.
A few other joints, a couple of collabos. We had Let's Get Dirty with Redman. That was a gold record, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
A few other collabos and whatnot. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, of course, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And, man, when you think of hip hop, when you think back, what was the first hip hop song that you just remember hearing and was like, ooh, what's that?
King Tim III by the Fatback Band. It's actually called King Tim III Personality Jock by the Fatback Band. And then shortly after that, here comes Sugar Hill Gang with Rapper's Delight, and the rest is history.
Okay. All right. So I'm sure you, like everybody else, when those songs came out, you played them back to back to back until you learned the words to them.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. So which one did you learned King Tim III first, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm going to test your knowledge, young fella.
All right.
Give me a couple of lines from that.
You know what? See, now that's one you caught me on because I'd have to think about that song, and I play it a lot. I can't do that right now, Mike.
Okay. All right. Let's move forward a little bit. Do you recall the first rap show that you ever went to?
Well, I don't know. I can recall the first show that I did.
Okay.
It was Ebony Island in Richmond, Virginia. That was the first show that I ever done at Ebony Island, Richmond, Virginia. It was myself, Roxanne Shante, and Steady B.
Wow. And
that was probably like 87, something like that.
Probably promoted by the great Jose.
Yes, indeed.
God, man. That's my man. We together, baby. We together.
That's right. That's the catchphrase right there.
Okay, so you do these shows. Of course, it gets to the point where everybody knows you in the DMV. Pretty much, let's say probably from Jersey on down to North South Carolina and all of that. And then catch fire with the Let Me Clear My Throat. What was that moment like when you put that record out and you realized that this is bigger than just the East Coast? This is a worldwide thing.
I think when I got the call, and shout out to Fat Tommy. Fat Tommy, yeah, from Richmond to Up, Two Down. Fat Tommy was doing promotions for the label that I had gotten signed to, which was Deaf American at the time, and they had distribution through Warner Brothers. Before we got a chance to sign with them, I was always part of independent labels. The first label not to shift gears too fast, but I just want to rewind the tape just a little bit and bring you up to Plymouth. The first label that the first records came out on was a label called Creative Funk Music, CFM, and that was Deke DeBerry, may he rest in peace. He was the guy that gave me my start in the industry as an artist. But I started as a DJ in 1977. I've been doing this for a long time, Street. You know what I mean? So those first records came out on Creative Funk. Then by the time I got to 20-Minute Workout, which was around 94, I got signed to another little independent label with a guy named Steve Janis, and that was CLR Records. They were out of Baltimore, Maryland. And so Clear My Throat came out on CLR first. Then it got picked up by American. But what I'm trying to say is, Fat Tommy called me 2 months after that record came out on American Records and told me that I had a gold record. The record went gold in 2 months.
2 months.
2 months. We crossed, and then the record, it went through the motions, and then it came back the next year and started back up again. And Tommy was like, "Cool, ain't nobody never done that." He said in the history of recorded music, nobody's record never left it, was on the chart, left the chart, came back on the chart. I'm like, what? So, yeah, shout out to Fat Tommy, man. Shout out to the DJs and the general public.
And if I'm not mistaken, I feel comfortable in saying that Let Me Clear My Throat is easily considered a party anthem, regardless of the genre. Like worldwide party anthem.
Yes. I've heard it in EDM sets. I've heard, and when I started hearing it, and people like Skrillex and all these EDM DJs and whatnot, Tiesto and all of these cats dropping Clear My Throat in their EDM sets. I'm like, wow, maybe we got a little something going here. You know what I mean? So it's been a blessing, Street. It really has. And
it was so good that you even did a remix. You put what? Biz and Dougie on it.
Yes. Rest in peace, man. That was a crazy situation. The record, the original version of the record was a live recording. We did it live in Philadelphia at a place, at a venue that used to be called Bahama Bay. So then when it was time for me to do the remix, which actually became the video version, I called the two best people that I figured was suited for that particular project. They came to the video shoot. Cool, what you want us to do? I said, Dougie, I need 8 bars from you. I'm gonna lead you in, and I'll lead you out. And I told Biz the same thing. I told the video director that we were going to record the audio live at the same time that we're shooting the video. This dude looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, look, all you need to do, keep that camera pointed on me, Dougie, and Biz. We're gonna do the rest. And that's what happened. So they freestyled their verses. It was incredible.
Yeah, it clearly is, because you have to think, if that record was done in 96, this is, my math might be off a little bit. This is 26, 27 years later. 27, yeah. And you still can get that record off in any set. It's a blessing, Street. It is, man. It really is. And once again, I didn't think that it was gonna go the way that it went, but if you think about it, the concept of the record is rooted in hip hop. Like, it's, 2 turntables and a microphone, the DJ and the MC, you know what I mean? The party, which is where hip hop started at. The party. So that's what Clear My Throat is. That it encompasses all of that, whatever hip hop is. Okay, so speaking of that, we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop, and of course, the date that they chose was August of 1973. Yeah. And that's when DJ Kool Herc, did the Recreation Center on Sedgwick. Why do you think it's important to celebrate hip hop? Woo, boy, that's a good one. Man, because that's something that we started. Our folks
with the help of some Puerto Ricans. You know what I mean? And that's something that we started like grassroots. We grew that. You know what I'm saying? We thought of it, we grew it, and what's that little phrase? Never thought that hip hop would take it this far.
Right.
People thought it was gonna be a fad. Oh, you know, that's gonna be in and out. I don't think so. It's been 50 years now. You know what I mean? So I'm just proud to have been able to make a contribution, a noteworthy contribution to the culture. You know what I mean? And also for me, like people that really know me know that you can take me and split me right down the middle. Half of me is hip hop, the other half is go-go.
You know what? Let's get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people say that go-go isn't hip hop. Some people say go-go is absolutely hip hop. What is your take on that?
Go-go is the cousin to hip hop. But you gotta remember, hip hop is more DJ driven and MC driven and all of that. Go-go is live musicians. You can't beat that. You can't beat that at all. And a lot of my brothers in this game found that out the hard way. And they know it.
Right.
If you ask them, if you ask Dougie Fresh about go-go, if you ask Africa Bambaataa about go-go, any of them old school cats, they will tell you, yo, that's the toughest music on this planet because it's live. And those drums, especially us black folks, you know what I mean? When them drums get to going, it gets in you. You know what I'm saying? You can't help but move. So
you cannot.
Yeah, thank God to our godfather, man, Chuck Brown.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. In this question, at the end of the day, how would you like your epitaph to be in hip hop? What would you like said about you? Because you know, a lot of people don't get to choose the words. Like they don't know what you've been through necessarily. They don't know how you'd like to be viewed. So how would you, in the perfect world, how would you like to be viewed by hip hop at the end of the day?
I think that I would like to be viewed by hip hop as the guy who got into it, put everything that he had into it, became a student of the game, and how can I say? And did it with integrity, with the utmost integrity. Because there's a lot of devils and snakes and demons and dogs and lowlights in this business. You know what I mean? And I'm what the 5%ers. I'm not a 5%er, but I understand and I respect the doctrine. I'm what the 5%ers would call a God body. You know what I mean? I'm all about righteousness and peace and love and all of that. You know what I mean? Which is part of the principles of hip hop. Peace, love, unity, and having fun. You know what I mean? And go-go is the same thing. That's what Chuck Brown preached, the exact same thing. So let's rewind and take just a little bit and shift gears real fast. To answer your question about go-go, go-go is the cousin, is the first cousin to hip-hop. We are first cousins.
Okay. That's a fair answer. That's a fair answer. All right, so with that being said, man, I would say continue success, but you know what? That would be you being greedy, man, because you've been successful for like 40 years, man. So
45 to be exact, thank God. Yes, indeed. Thank God.
Legendary DJ Kool, I appreciate your time. Oh, before we go, you put out a joint last year. Like the end of last year, I think you still working with that. What was the name of the record?
It was called Cha Cha Cha. Yeah, we had an original version out, and then I did a remix using, this shows that hip hop and go-go were cousins. I did a remix using Curtis Blow's Party Time, and I featured Cupid from Cupid Shuffle, and another good friend, Big Moochie from Biker Shuffle fame, and we designed this thing as Cha Cha Cha. So we're kind of working on that one right now. We'll probably, keep on pushing on that till the summer when everybody can get out and start line dancing together and this and that. But I'm working on a few more things. You see I'm wearing short sleeves, so I got a few more things up my sleeve. I'm working on this one right now called On the Dance Floor, so just remember that.
Okay. We look forward to it, man. Kool, I appreciate your time, man. And I appreciate your brotherhood. I appreciate you always being there whenever we reach out to you. And man, I wish people could understand exactly how much I do appreciate you and what you've done for the culture, man.
Mike Street, I'm gonna tell you this in front of everybody. You are a class act. I just want you to, this coming from me. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with the cameras and this and that. I see it in your face. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you.
I've always had a great deal of respect for you and the way that you go about, your business.
Well,
I think you're one. Not many good ones in this industry. I think you're one of them.
I appreciate that. You know what? I take that. I don't usually take compliments, but man, if you giving it, I'll take it and I'll cherish it, man. Thank you, sir.
All right, for sure.